Hello and welcome everybody back to the Dumbass class with me, Dyslexic Gamer, as we carry on our tabletop RPG game, which is Warhammer Fantasy 2nd edition. What did I call it
We
again?
don't talk about
Mordheim, City
other.
of the Damned.
Yeah, we don't talk about the third edition.
Yeah, we keep that child locked in the basement, I'm afraid. So
But I thought we just murdered it. Why are we keeping the corpse in the bed? Never mind.
I
because
don't know.
Slanesh likes to have things like that.
That is true. That is true.
So last time, our group of adventurers had managed to finish the battle against the bandits. They had finished their journey with a prisoner in tow. They were on the horizon. Essentially, I'd stopped them at the horizon, so they're currently looking over the capital city of Stirland. Now, I was wrong last time. It's not Nullen. So you were looking over the capital city of Stirland, which is named Vertbad, or Wertbad, however you like to say it. You gaze upon high stone walls. This is like most capital cities in the Warhammer world, fortified up the wazoo. You see guard posts, fortified towers. You even see a couple of ballistas on the battlements, with extremely thick and large walls to protect the people within. You're a little surprised to see houses reaching up into the sky above the walls. You can see the pitch of their roofs. The walls are a good 35 foot tall, and the road that leads down to the main battlements are flagstoned paving all the way. This is probably the easiest and fastest that your convoy has moved this entire time. You were probably only a day away. You should get there by this evening. But even from this far, there's a smell on the breeze.
Is this smell of smoke and fire?
No. More shit and filth.
So the city is fine.
Absolutely fine.
Yes. As I would imagine a lot of you have been to a major city before. Although they are grand, their buildings mighty, their walls strong, their roads are stinky, and their people unwashed. As you get closer to Vertbad, I'll call it, do it with a V, Vertbad, the smell gets stronger, but so do the people. You now see peasantries pushing carts and moving goods into the city. Many of the peasants actually move aside as they see the banners of the Raven Guard on top of your convoy. You're not heading to an elven city, my lass.
No, we are not.
With good speed on these well paved roads, you reach the outer walls of Vertbad. You have to crane your necks to the sky to see the battlements at the top, with huge iron gates. Although you've adjusted to the smell, it's gotten stronger. much stronger. As you approach the gates, the guards standing watch there. There's about 8 of them, positioned slightly inside and slightly outside. Seeing the Raven Guard banners, they move up to greet you, basically. I'll say that your cart, the cart that, well, you can't, moving carts on roads is probably difficult, so Boris's cart is in the front. Hail there. You bring the tithe. Why are you together? One of the guards.
You mean why we bring 2 ties at once?
Indeed.
Because the original escort of one of them...
Dead.
Not necessarily dead, but they have forsaken their duty and just, as far as we know, have vanished.
Might as well be dead.
Well, yes, that I do agree.
Did we actually, out of character, did we ever check that the tithe was still there?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
No, Theron, I'll say to Azurth, perhaps we shouldn't divulge all the information to your regular guards, should we?
Yes, let us just deliver it to where it is needed and discuss potential repercussions and otherwise there. Guardsman, if you will point us in the right direction, please.
But of course, it seems you bring dire news. He looks over at the driver who is driving the cart you were protecting. Do you want to swap positions? The driver knows where to go. You can follow him. You can take your cart down there. But be mindful, the streets are crowded. If your horse isn't used to, busy streets, loud noises, you'll have to leave your cart outside.
I used to be a messenger. My horse is used to plenty.
Very well. So the driver of your cart that you were protecting, he swaps places. I believe it's with you, Azurth. I think you were driving. Boris's cart.
I was driving one of the carts. Yes.
Yeah, I think you were driving Boris's cart. Bill, or is it Ted? Can't remember. One of your minions is moving your cart, and then the Raven Guards dude is moving the cart at the very back. So you two will just swap places, and then you can follow along. So you enter the town. The city, not a town. You quickly notice that there is almost a stepping stone pavement that goes along at the side of the roads. The roads, as you drive through, are sludgy, sticky, and as you drive down the main thoroughfare, the smell intensifies. There are people all around you selling wares, shouting, trying to entice traders. Some of them even try to entice your party to come and look at their wares, but there's nothing of any real interest. You follow the carts, and it leads you deeper into Vertbad. The houses here are built in such a manner that as you go past alleyways, you look down them and they're almost pitch black, where no sky touches the ground, as the houses have just kept building up and up and up, never having the proper foundations or support to hold these structures. They've leaned in and are basically leaning on to each other to keep themselves upright. They are dark and dank alleyways, and you can see individuals lurking in the backs. You see a large number of wine merchants and warehouses devoted solely to storing wine. You quickly learn, just through listening and driving through, that Vertbad is quite possibly the capital wine city within the empire, because everywhere you look there's another brand, a different vintage. But after 10-15 minutes of going down the main thoroughfare leading to the heart of Vertbad, there are a couple of times when traffic has stopped, essentially. Some idiot has ran out, a cart broke down. You look around and you begin to see people, peasantry, nobility in the nicer areas as you get closer. They all step on these stepping stones at the side. As you arrive in the central plaza, you see a magnificent church. A beautiful... They're almost townhouse constructions of stone, and they look of excellent quality for human hands. Unfortunately, none of you are dwarfs, so... You see the capital buildings in all their glory, and the driver of the cart directs you towards one of the grander ones. What's the name of it? The Elector Count's palace. However, you do not go to the palace in all its grandeur. You go to a side building attached to the outer walls, and this appears to be a tax office of some kind. The driver of the cart parks his cart up and informs you, put the other one there, Azurith. We'll say Ted for now. Ted, you place yours there, turn it around so you're ready to go. Who would want to go into the building to inform them what's happened, or do you all want to go into... Essentially, it's a tax office.
I would at least.
I mean,
like
I
to go
would.
in.
I am still nominally a sergeant in this group. Technically not anymore, but shh. They don't have to know.
I'll
avoid
watch
it.
the cart.
Same.
Okay. So as the driver gets down and takes out his paperwork, he goes over... Oh, actually, no, sorry. The driver calls over to Azurith and tells you to open up the seat, the driver's seat, to lift up the top. And Azurith, you can see him do exactly the same. He opens up the... lifts up the seat and reaches in and pulls out a sealed document.
Okay. I will do the same then.
And you find a sealed document. It has a wax seal with the Raven Guard's emblem on it. There's another seal next to it. A seal you probably haven't seen before. It's that of a wolf. I want to say a wolf dog, but it's not a wolf dog. I think it's a basset hound. A basset hound.
Okay.
A hunting dog's head.
Okay.
Isn't the Basset Hound the tiny one?
Curious.
Yeah,
can't
that's a
remember.
I said, how did the tiny one? You're probably looking for
Let's just
another type
continue.
of.
I'll remember the name later and bring it up, or I'll get another one.
Yes.
So the one of your so out of character, one of the party has seen that seal before. They've seen that iconography before. But yes, you see another wax seal next to the Raven Guards.
Curious. Do tell, is this second seal supposed to be here?
Do you say that to the driver?
To the driver, but I also address the rest of my group to see if they perhaps know what this seal is.
I'm going to try and remember. I think I remember out of character in that it's probably the what's it called guy, the coward who's got a bunch of peasants. But I'll roll
GM?
if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Is it the same seal? Is it the same symbol that was on the coin?
No. Good. Thank you for reminding me. So, Miss Wilhelma, you have an vested interest in this. So, when the party were looting the bodies, I'm afraid we are going back in time to the encounter. You made sure that you grabbed every
The
purse.
pistol and ammo.
No, you
especially.
grabbed every purse, every
Okay.
single purse. You told your party that you'd divide the money, and you indeed. I believe I told you found like 9 gold coins overall.
But they
But
just shoved it in the cart.
as you emptied out the money to count, you knew what you were looking for, and you indeed did find on the same corpse that had the pistol another copper coin with a dagger as its emblem.
Wait, I found another copper dagger?
No, the coin. You should have a coin. I believe you have a coin in your possession
Yes,
that has a dagger.
I have it. I have it down as a fake coin, I believe.
Yeah, it
Fake
was,
bronze penny with a dagger.
yes. You found another one, and it was on the guy with the pistol.
Definitely gonna take that one too.
So
Okay,
moving on, whoever would like to make a intelligence test to remember, I'll say that all of you can see Azuraf holding up the document, and there are indeed 2 seals.
Nope. Although...
You can all stop. It's quite all right. Lysiara, you saw that symbol in the catacombs underneath the temple. And that was that's the symbol of House Caligo.
The house of... Oh,
The Brander's house.
Correct.
okay. I'll
It's
just
funny
say to
because you're
Azuraf-
the only person who knew about that, and you were the one who succeeded.
I have a pretty good intelligence, so I'm happy that I succeed. I'll just say that's the sigil of House Caligo.
Alright then. Grant this personal assurance then. In any case, let us go hand these in.
You
Miss
walk.
Skyton?
You see the driver walk over to the door of the tax office. He doesn't actually. You see, there's no door handle, but he knocks. Yeah.
I simply stand behind him while he does this.
And then he
Make-
kicks the bottom of the door, and within a couple of seconds, the door cracks open.
Excellent.
Only a crack, though, as you see an eye peering out as he looks at the people stood at the door. You see the driver hold up the seal, hold up the document with the 2 seals on it as the door opens up. Please enter quickly. The driver very quickly enters the door. Enters
I
through
had
the
to.
door.
I'm gonna show
Oh.
because I was going with Azurif.
I'll make sure Boris is fine, and then I'll follow them.
Okay, so you, Lysiara, you'll have to quickly move in. The guard seems quite... He wants to shut the door quickly. So you...
What I mean, I would basically just look over and make sure that, Boris is fine, and just follow right back behind them.
Okay. Inside the tax office, there is a vast amount of gold behind a desk. You can see that there's at least 6 or 7 people all counting out gold coins, bronze pennies, silver coins. I think they are called crowns. Anyway, and there are 4 individuals at the front. 2 of which, definitely the 2 middle ones, definitely look as if they're cashiers. They're there to help. They're there to take your order and make sure your needs are seen to. The other 2
Take your money.
look far more suspicious. Like, although they're dressed the same, the aura they give off is just completely different. And the man stood at the door is a humongous beast of a man, like, not in height, more in girth, and he wears thick padded armor over the top. Documents to the table. The driver goes up to one of the cashiers. Typh from Siegfried Hoff from the Raven Guard. We have news. It would probably be better if they told you. Oh, well, let me see your documents. Good, they have not been opened. Very well. The cashier takes the knife out. You'd note is blunt, and he cuts underneath and breaks the seal, but he breaks it in a very peculiar way. As he goes under, he snaps Brander's seal off. He takes the Raven Guard seal off, and he breaks Brander's in half and opens it up, so there's half of Brander's still left clinging to the paper and the full Raven Guard's seal. Okay, everything seems to be in order here. We'll get the tithe brought in as we speak. He places the document under the table. Right, next. And what news do you bring?
One of the warbands.
I hand over the documentation.
Very well. Good.
One of the warbands guarding the 5 was ambushed, and they appear to have fled, leaving the tithe on the mercy of brigands.
We have luckily managed to avoid the cargo falling in the hand of said brigands, but the warband escorting the cargo was nowhere to be found.
Oh, indeed. The seal has not been broken. He does the same with the 2 wax seals.
I'm just gonna pull one of the coins from my pouch, and does this mean anything to you?
The documents seem to be in order. We will get the tithe brought in straight away. He reaches for the coin and looks at it.
It's fake, I know that much, but that symbol is... I can't quite place it.
A curiosity, a forgery, a magical trick, and he gestures with his hands. Not he doesn't wiggle his fingers. He as if it's a sleight of hand thing. I don't know. I'm afraid I'm not a lawman. I'm not a bounty hunter. I deal with the tithe.
It was
But
worth
thank
a
you.
try.
He hands it back to you.
Okay.
So,
I'm gonna be asking about that symbol soon.
this warband of the wolf, you say. He brings out a massive tome and opens it up and begins looking through. You say they are deserters. They'll be hung then. The bounty will be put out this afternoon. Are you sure they deserted? Just to make things...
As far as the story recounted, they all assumingly went to scout on ahead, leaving the cargo practically unguarded.
They
And
never returned.
according to the tracks, their pace picked up rapidly. They were not there to defend the cargo in any case, and they did not return afterwards.
Were these a ragtag group? Poorly equipped, like just
They're-
slung together, or...
Their leader appeared to be of noble birth. Several of the warriors appeared to be professionals, but they did bring with them civilians to act as meat shields or extra muscle.
You see him going through the book really quick, like he's flying through the
Was
pages
it the
of the
Warband
book.
of the Wolf? I honestly,
Yes.
out of character, I can't remember.
Yes, it was
yeah,
the warband
that's
of the
Warband
wolf.
of the Wolf. The Bloody Rain was defending the other one.
We have no records of them ever doing any work in Siegfriedhoft, and
That's
we...
strange. Brander seemed to know them.
No, Brandon knew the Bloody Rain. The warband of the wolf
Yeah.
knew.
Oh,
Warband of the Wolf, I
okay.
remember.
Sorry, never mind. I'm confusing things. Sorry.
Wait, just to make sure, were they the dickhead ones?
No, those were the Bloody Rain were dickheads, right?
The Bloody Rain.
Not
The
exactly.
Bloody Rains were just blunt and aggressive. The warband of the wolf were arrogant. and
They
shit,
had that
so-
posh guy as a lead, right?
Yes. Warband of the wolf had the boss guy.
Okay.
With,
And were generally
like,
considered
That's
dicks.
literally the only thing I remember about the Warband of the Wolf. They had a posh guy.
All I remember is one was racist and one wasn't.
I also remember that the White Wolf guy was he went out. We had a full group. Came back missing 3. Went out again. Came back missing another 4 people.
As far as our records say, Brandon did not entirely trust them, which is why he had them guard the cargo that was least valuable to brigands in any case.
An old man, an old scribe, enters.
As well as the fact that they were quickly known in Siegfriedhof as having terrible attrition rates. Every mission they were sent out on, they suffered more casualties than they should.
Civilian casualties from and militiamen from the city. None of their own, however.
Master Jennings, we have an issue with a warband that's gone rogue, apparently. Can we, get a bounty out on them immediately? I believe it should be a high pay. Oh, of course, yes, I can do that now. What's their name? What were they
The
called?
Warband of the Wolf.
No, they're dead.
N-
He looks
Wait,
at you
wait,
with a joking
were they
smile.
led by that posh
I
guy
had
that I essentially described the leader?
No one's had that name in almost 30 years.
No,
This particular
met them
warband
in
appears to have claimed
Siegfriedhof.
it.
Mm.
Miss Keitel, if I may, it appears this warband has then claimed this name, perhaps to disguise what they were up to themselves.
Well, you see, the issue is that any warband that takes up that name really pisses off the followers of Ulrich. They get really shitty when anyone takes that name. We've never had a mercenary warband work for Siegfriedhof with that name in, as I said, 30 years. They died in the Vampire Wars.
Well then.
Okay, my parallel. We did see them walking during the day, right?
Yes, we did.
Like that's how vampires work. Like they still have the baseline vampire qualities in Warhammer Fantasy, right? That the
Should I
fatal sun
roll?
kills them and
They
such.
still take damage from sunlight, but they don't necessarily have to die from it, as far as I'm aware.
It depends on the level of vampire.
Yeah.
High level vampires regenerate at such a rate that the damage from sunlight is negligible. That's why a vampire army can fight in the day.
So essentially, but they would have to be like super powerful vampire counts or something, and
Or
not
just
be
consume a lot,
like
or
whelps.
just consume a lot of blood to keep their powers going.
And remember, they've always been fully armoured. So they're only showing off their face.
I just imagine like a skeleton, but they have like normal fleshy face, and then it's just skeleton from neck down.
Yeah, when it comes to identifying
That's kind of terrifying.
Truth be told, they did only ever show their faces. Their entire body was always armored. Not that I do much different, but with this news you have now told me, and our proximity to Sylvania, I do now believe that perhaps to be a more sinister reason for it. It would also explain the attrition rate, why there were almost never civilian people returning.
The old man, hearing you continue to talk in such a serious manner, is now quite
Wait.
shocked. Like, he thought you were
I just-
joking, and you can't be. You mean
They did
tell me-
name themselves the Warband of the Wolves. They had significant battle scarring, the most of them, which would indicate many years of violent life.
Azurif?
Eric Malius
Azurif?
is alive. It is. Oh,
When
dear.
did the... Remember, before we left Secret Hall, there were a few prostitutes got missing, remember? When was that? Was that...
They started going missing the moment the Warband of the Wolf entered the city.
Ah, jolly good. This country just keeps on giving, doesn't it?
We are close to Sylvania.
I had to make just one small question to this.
Sure.
Did we ever get the name of the leader of the Wolf God then?
The leader, Eric Malius.
Eric Malius. And the guy just said Eric Malius.
Yeah.
Yes.
His name was
Yeah.
Eric Malius.
Are you trying to tell me that I drank a pint with a vampire?
Apparently so.
This is. We must inform the witch hunters. The vampire hunters. We must.
Both.
The
Do both.
pay will have to go up. I will inform the Elector Count immediately. The old man turns and walks away. As he leaves, he tells the scribe to get more information, and the scribe in front of you takes out. He was keeping like rough notes of things that he should probably bring up with a superior, but now he takes out a full new piece of parchment and begins writing down what he can remember. And after a couple of seconds, right, you're with wrong accent, wrong voice. You're with the who are you again?
We are the Unnamed, or the Warband of the Unnamed.
We're still working out the name,
Very
just
well.
fairly recent.
Do you?
Out of
you
Kirk, I
bought
thought,
the
I
tie.
thought our,
You haven't actually got a warband name at the moment.
Yeah.
but
We
that's
just call
I-
ourselves
I-
the Unnamed at this point.
I
Or
thought
Or
it
just
was
the
the name was-
Warband.
We could always
it's
go for
easier.
the name I wanted.
Shut
Yeah,
up.
it was. We were discussing it, and then we didn't. So we're currently the Warband of the Unnamed.
It's because that's what I first called ourselves to the vampire, to be precise, actually.
Okay.
Nameless
and
unnamed.
where's your signia? Sorry. Where's your signia for from the Raven Guard?
I pull mine out.
I'm gonna present mine.
Excellent, excellent. I shall. Okay. I believe I have all the information I need.
Any more information required on the armament of the war band that you are currently hunting, or?
So what we'll do is we'll move on 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and you can tell them what you remember of their numbers and how well equipped they were. Just so that you don't have to try and remember off RP it. But sure, you can write that down.
During this is like the cart collected and we're brought through.
You would see, those of you who are outside, you would see probably about 5 to 6, 3 minutes after they all enter, a group of guards come out of a gated door. A procession of them ring the other cart. The one with Boris in, actually. Well, no, would it? Yeah, it would. They open up the cart and see Boris there and a little bit, huh? What? No one? Boris informs them and shows his paperwork. And you see some of the guards, like, okay, they keep the ring, but 2 of them run off inside. About 3 minutes later, you see another ring of guards go round the other wagon, and that's far easier for them. They begin unloading the goods. You can see this from your cart. If you're around, they would ask you to please step back and to a safe distance. They wouldn't necessarily ask if you want to go in. If you want to go in, you can.
Yeah, because the main reason we were there is just to make sure that there weren't any enterprising adventurers, aka greedy peasants and thieves, swiping from the carts.
You mean such entrepreneurs like ourselves?
What do you mean ourselves?
I mean, takes one to know one.
I would say there was a good 4 rounds where no one was attending the carts. If you weren't there, not that your characters would really know.
I mean, technically, wasn't our cart being tended by Ted and Bill?
No, so the Typh carts, essentially, I was making a bit of a joke that they were probably left unattended for about 6 turns. That if you guys weren't there, then there was no one there for 6 turns of combat.
Wait, if Bill and Ted screwed up, you should really stop paying them, Gabriel.
I thought they were with our cart.
No, they are. They're with your cart, but all your carts are in a row. It's just your cart is actually turned round so that you can take off again. Whereas
Yeah, because I was guarding the carts, as in the carts that are actually important.
yeah, so they've got the 2 Raven Guard carts, one next to each other, and then you've got your cart. There's enough room to unload, but
Yeah. Once they're collected, I'm gonna go in,
okay, cool.
but I'm waiting till they're collected.
Then yeah, you would see the guards come out and they would ask you, step aside, you're done here. They're not quite as kind as the other guards, but oh well. So yeah, you guys can go in. You'd see Azurif, Wilhelma, and Lysiara. Yeah, Lysiara, and a scribe writing down information. You'd probably hear Azurif listing off people's armaments as you walk in. Actually, sorry, you can't walk in because they wouldn't let you in because you haven't got a seat. You haven't got a document to show them. Well, nuts.
They do have their
that.
sigils with the Raven card, but I don't think it's enough.
What's happening? What sort of trouble have you got ourselves into?
No, sure,
Oh.
I'll allow that. That probably would be enough. The Raven Guard
I'd
are
explain
held pretty
that-
highly.
Also, I'd explain I've been watching the carts. If they want to check, they can check with the guards who've just accepted the carts off us.
So he'll basically say to you, I'd show your show your identity, basically. Show your seal, your emblem, who do you belong to. He wouldn't open the door over... Well, you'd have to do a massively good charm test, which would be opposed. But if you show him your Raven Guard symbol, he'll let you in.
Yeah. I'm going to do that, but I'm also going to explain, like, the whole reason we haven't gone in with them is just we've been watching the cart while it's being accepted. So it shows we've just not been in because we're doing an important job that's also like them.
So
I do show my seal,
He
though.
sees your seal and he opens the door. Again, it's very quick, and as he opens, quick now. And there's almost a snap once as it shuts once you walk through. And yes, you hear Azurif listing off equipment.
Just as I'm walking in, I assume like Listiara stood a little bit to the back. I kind of, so why is he listing off equipment?
Because there may be a possibility that the Wolf God Band are actually a band of vampires that have been deemed rogue and are going to be hunted down. So that's all part of the bounty. Whoever wants to hunt them down should know everything they need to know before they go after a band of possible vampires.
Oh. Oh. Is there anything else that was important?
Nah, just that.
No, not really, no.
No one brings up Wilhelmer showing off the coin.
I mean, it didn't amount to anything, so no.
Also, Listiara wasn't there, I think.
No,
Listiara
Listiara was.
Okay. Never mind then.
I was just because I'd assumed that we didn't know it, and I wanted to know if I knew a secret sign on it. But oh well.
I mean, you're one of the people I am gonna ask, but not yet.
Well, thank you for all the information. This will be most helpful. Well, yes. Unfortunately, you won't see this on a bounty board of any normal board out there, unless you want the title. That is. He kind of looks at you and laughs.
No, we do not.
I don't mind a title. What?
You're not
I'll
there, Billy
tell.
Bob. Silence.
I'll tell.
Unless
Azure
you
of
wish to get,
Farron.
unless you wish to get accidentally hunted yourself or get in a dispute with the followers of Ulrich, I suggest we do not take that name.
No. I mean, vampire hunter.
Yeah, that doesn't
Oh.
sound healthy.
I'm going to say no, Theron to Azurif. We should still keep this information. If we do run into them and we do have to fight them, and if by some reason we win, we'd probably want to relax, wouldn't we?
Agreed. I say agreed in Altharan, and I would say back in Reichsspiel to the man, if we come across them and we cannot avoid conflict, we will attempt to overcome them, but we will not go out of our way to hunt them. Not yet. We feel we are under-equipped for such a task at the moment.
Well, if you do manage it, I'm afraid you'll have to bring back his head as proof.
Most certainly.
But yes, unfortunately, you won't know how much it's worth. The vampire hunters don't really like civilians knowing how much it leads to a lot of thralls that the vampire hunters need to then put down. But
We are far
anyway.
from civilian, but we will keep this in mind as well.
Well, thank you very much. All your documents are in order, and the additional information.
And which... Is there a Raven God barracks in this city?
Unfortunately, it's only for serving knights, and their squires. You wouldn't be able to gain entry there, I'm afraid.
We need to drop off someone there. So if you could inform us. And besides, I'll show him my coin of the Raven Guard sigil.
Unfortunately, that's not a knight's symbol. You are not a knight of the Raven Guard, thus you cannot enter their barracks. It's you're a mercenary for them, as it happens. He kind of gives you a little them's the breaks kind of.
On a quite a long contract, I might add.
No, we still have someone we should drop with them. It concerns them after all.
What you mean Boris?
No, I mean the prisoner in the back of our car.
Oh, that guy! I totally forgot about him.
You have a prisoner. Well, yes. They have a knight's barracks in and he gives you the location. It's not too far away, considering they're there to protect the nobility. The town, yes, but the nobility mainly.
Yeah. Thank you. Now, is there anything else we need to do here? I'll look at towards the party. If not, we should get lodgings, make sure to tend to our wounded, and return to Siegfriedhof. Although this city may hold its marvels, we're tied to Siegfriedhof for the moment.
The cashier tells you that there's a tavern of reasonable cost called the Waltzing Cat Inn.
That name sounds familiar, like hella familiar.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
But I literally can't remember from where.
I can.
I think I can too.
I cannot, but I do like the name.
Hit the floor.
Yes, I knew that was from there.
Unfortunately, you probably don't want to stay at the Golden Eagle Inn. So, the Waltzing Cat.
Praise the Emperor and all, but I'm an elf, so praise the chef. I think I'll go to the cat.
Man,
it
that
pretty
is a
Sigma?
one loud vacuum cleaner.
What are you talking about? It's not praise Sigma, I praise Ronald. Sigma gets my secondary prayers.
I praise Manan.
Also, sorry about that. That was a plane flying over my house.
Yeah, plain vacuum cleaner, one and the same.
As you leave, he does. May Sigmar protect you in your days.
Yeah, sure.
Is that what you say to him as he?
No,
Yeah, sure. Yeah. You funny.
I'll just give a small nod with the head because I'm an elf. I have my hood with that, but yeah, just be respectful.
May Sigma's protection keep you safe.
Oh, we should head to the Raven Guard's barracks now.
So Gabrielle can pay lip service when she has to.
As you go outside, you see that there is Boris is being placed on a stretcher and has been taken onto the steps of the tax building, and he's been laid down, and there's someone looking over his leg.
I did the best that I could. How is it? I say as I'm walking over and like directing it at the surgeon or whatever.
Not good, I'm afraid. Looks like he'll lose the leg. But, shouldn't really do it here. He plays with a goatee. No, we should get him to, my shop. Yes.
Is Boris conscious, or is
Yes,
he passed out?
he's very much conscious, in a lot of pain, from the tears and the squinting and the every now and then you see him biting down.
I'm just gonna pat him on the shoulder and be like, "Don't worry, Boris. It is the reason why Sigmar saw it fit to give you a spare one."
If you don't mind, I'll say to the party I'd like to follow and stay with Boris for a while.
But Boris looks up at you, Lysiara, and looks at the surgeon, and there's a bit of fear in his eyes. And I meant to be going to the Raven Guard outpost. I'm sure they have a surgeon there, don't they? Raven Guard. So you have a
So why is this surgeon Bubba?
Okay, well, if you don't need me, then I guess I'll go. And he kind of gets up and he gives a little nod towards the guards that are unloading the goods out of the cart that Boris was in. And he kind of just wanders off. It looks as if the guards just grabbed a surgeon from off the street.
Thank you for your time.
Oh, Boris.
Do you need an operation?
No, unfortunately. But
Oh.
here, at least have this for your time, and I'm going to give him 2 silver shillings.
He doesn't want your money. You put the money into his hand, even if you forcefully he kind of looks at it and hands it back to you. And I don't need money. I just want to operate on people. And he wanders off back into the city.
I'm gonna look at Boris and say,
Right.
you most likely dodged the bullet, my friend.
I think you really. I think that was a wise decision.
Oh, anyway. We'll take you to the Raven Guard with us, and we'll see if they have a surgeon there.
Okay.
Hey, Gabriel, you've been around, right?
Gabriel? Who's Gabriel?
No, Gabriel.
Oh, Gabriel.
My brain is farting.
I've been on adventures and around the area, yes.
Do you recognize that symbol? And I'm gonna show her the fake coin.
Does Secret Signs Thief cover this?
You can roll it and see.
If it does, I could roll it as well.
Let's roll, then, I guess.
I mean, bottom line, I would also try to roll gossip and ask kind of discreetly around town.
You have a look at the coin, Gabrielle, and you look at it and it's a dagger. It's a little bit too... It's too well made to be a thief's thing. But you know that thieves use tokens like this to confirm contracts are done. But normally they're like wooden, you know, something that's easy, you know, if you need to you can burn it or you can hide it as something. This is far too obvious to be something that well, at least a decent thief would use. Plus you look at it and it looks as if it's made, you know, someone put time into making these, which again is evidence of your craft, of your organization. But it does have some similarities to like tokens used to show that jobs are done and to pass on messages between people, but yeah, it's too good to be a thieves one.
Damn. because there aren't that many secret sign skills.
I think this probably would be better to use something like academic knowledge heraldry, but I don't think any of us has that.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
It's a bit too well made to be of the groups that I know their signs for, but it's still a sign that with the craftsmanship, the people who have been making this have been well entrenched for a while, to the point where it's an organization. You see this? This is where it's clearly been, where the person who's been using the hammer has gotten quite adept at swinging it. You don't see many. It's very rare that a indentation can be so neat.
Billy Bob, as you look at the coin, you nod to yourself and agree with what Gabrielle said, and you think exactly the same things. So
Billy Bob just thinks it's better.
Yeah, everything Billy Bob does is better, no offense.
I think you have actually got higher stats than me now. Because, yeah, just after last session, I got him all the way up to date. He's terrifying.
Feels good, man.
So this is an organization. Great.
But why so much care into making counterfeit pennies?
Well, they're not exactly a lot of them.
These are probably badges. If
I
I
found-
hear them talking.
I
So
mean,
probably
I found one of the brigands that ambushed the Tive. Out of
Probably-
character, I cannot for the life of me remember when I found the first one. I don't remember if it was when we were going to the
Billy.
woodcutters camp or
I'm pretty sure it's when we
Correct.
slaughtered woodcutters.
it was the bandits that attacked you on your way to the woodcutters.
okay.
I think your characters know the slavers that were coming back from the woodcutters camp.
Okay.
This is the only time you've seen this symbol?
The second one,
Second time? Where'd you see the first?
the one when we were ambushed when we were going to the woodcutters camp. No, just 2 times now.
That's worrying.
Well, either we have an unfortunate gift of sticking our faces in the wrong places, or someone has it out for us. Has it in for us? Sorry, my brain is farting with a lack of sleep.
The gods do not give what's beyond your means. Whatever this challenge is, we shall rise to defeat it.
Or die trying and end up in a gutter. Also an option.
I'll raise an eyebrow at Garrison.
Do we have to
That's,
raise to the occasion? Like, we could just not.
I think
So
I don't think you're going to die that easily, my friend. Don't worry about it.
life is cheap where I come from.
Anyway, we should move. Apparently, Boris needs surgery, and unfortunately he's going to lose his leg. So let's not linger. The longer it takes, the worse it will be.
So, you load Boris into your cart, 2 of the children, and Boris insists on the third child's corpse. He's wrapped in maybe one of his spare robes? You're not quite sure. It's a large amount of material that's been wrapped around a child's body, so you're not quite sure where he got it from, but it could be one of his robes. And you make your way down the road towards you make your way with the directions that you were given towards the Raven Guard's barracks. Are you all riding in the cart, or are some of you walking?
I don't think there's enough
or-
space for that, so some of us will be walking.
Although I loathe it, I'll probably be walking in the stinky streets.
Okay, so you'll be using the stepping stones then, as you walk down. In this area, they're better quality. They are actually stone. It's inbuilt into the pavement itself. Who's gonna be? Is everyone gonna be walking, and Bill and Ted will be driving the cart?
Probably.
Cool, we'll go with that. You make your way down the high street. The large buildings begin to get less fine. There's like, you can see they're very fine on the bottom, middle they're very fine, but as they go up in floors, it's almost as if people ran out of money or no one could see it, so they went a bit cheaper. Can everyone give me perception tests as they walk on the stepping stones?
Only the ones who are
That's
walking?
fortune. I think we're all walking.
Everyone's walking.
Oh, okay.
And I still fail.
Not fair.
I have the highest perception score out of all of us, and that's fucking failed.
You have fortune, don't you?
Technically,
I have
a
a fortune point. I am using a fortune point. Let's put it. I'm gonna use one. But actually, no,
I have a higher perception than you, Azura.
I'm gonna.
Fail.
Yeah, success.
You went from like near critical failure to near critical success.
As you all start hopping, stepping slowly, in some cases you retch a bit as the cart kicks up some slurry that's particularly nasty. But Mr. Azurif, Miss Lysiara, and Billy Bob, you're looking up, looking around, jumping, looking up, looking around. That was disgusting. Jumping, hopping, stepping. Miss Wilhelma and Miss Gabrielle, you struggle a bit more as you're stepping from one side. Like, the smells get to you a bit too much. Your eyes water. You try and like just take it a bit slower. Then you're not concentrating as much as everyone else is, and you fail to hear that. What was that? I would like you two to give me agility tests.
Only the ones who succeeded?
No, just the two that failed. So.
Oh, okay. Fuck.
You may fate it if you wish.
I have only one fate point.
Sorry, fortune.
What? You only have one fortune?
I mean, I had 0 last session, and since we refresh between sessions...
No, we refresh each day.
Oh, then never mind.
Yeah, you refresh
haven't-
each sleep.
And we haven't slept yet, so I have no fortune still.
So no, you should have, because the fight was on
We've
the
been traveling
9th.
for days.
The fight was on the 9th, so you were now on the 14th. So you've had 5
Okay,
days
so I have
of
2
traveling.
fortune. Okay, I'm gonna spend 1 then.
Haven't you already? Did you re-roll your? Oh no, you didn't. I don't
Yeah, I mean,
No?
Okay, never
Then-
mind.
I rerolled my perception, but I haven't.
Okay, I succeed.
Also, why have you got encumbrance at where it is?
Because I am carrying too much shit.
Why isn't it on the cart?
Because my mail, my club, my bow, and my shield put me over. And this
Oh,
is the
shit.
stuff I actually need.
Buy a backpack.
If you're wearing mail, you probably also get a -10 armor penalty.
I mean, I'm gonna be ditching the mail soon enough, so I
As
can either
you're
sell them
carefully
or...
making your way down the road, you don't hear the or the chatting of women above you. as you get to a point where the house has recessed slightly. The windows don't overlook, they open out onto the high street. You don't hear the two women chatting and the sloshing of the urine kegs as they're thrown out the window. You don't hear this. But as you're carefully making your way down, you see something block the light. Gabrielle, you instinctively dart forwards where it's Miss Wilhelma. You look up and dart backwards as tush, tush, tush. 3 full chamber pots of piss, and yeah, I think there was a splup in there as well. Very nearly hit you.
Disaster barely averted.
I hate big human cities. I say no, Theron.
Azureth, you hear this behind you, and that was close. You look up the road as, you stupid bitch! What are you doing? Look what you've... Oh, I fucking... You see down the road as someone else clearly was not as lucky. I had to reward you. You did get a 2.
Okay.
This place is so filthy.
Welcome to the Imperium. Enjoy your stay. Imperium
I'm staying as
Empire.
an Theron.
Never mind then.
You can
Then
still
I
say that.
say those exact lines. Welcome to the Empire.
A short distance later, you arrive at a much more militaristic-looking building. It's almost like a miniature castle in the way that it's constructed in the defensive attributes of the building. And there is indeed a large sigil of the Raven Guard. And 2 knights stood outside in the familiar armour. The armour that you know so well since staying in Siegfriedhof itself.
Yes, we'll approach the gods.
Mm-hmm.
As you approach, one of the guards almost... He stood at attention, but almost sensing someone's looking at his head, walking towards him. He turns and looks and turns to face you. Hail, traveller. Good day. What business do you have here?
Good day. I'm gonna show him my coin. We are not full-blown Raven God, but we are mercenaries under the care of the Raven God. We've come to deliver a prisoner, a brigand, which we captured along the road. And we would, if possible, would like to use the services of your surgeon. We have an injured among us.
You see the guard turn and gesture to his friend. When he sees the sigil, he gives you a disdaining, dirty look. But when you say that you've actually got a prisoner, look, the blood bandits are going against what they're normally known for. Well, it's good to see some of you can actually bring in prisoners. Well, I hope he isn't covered in rot and gangrene. I hope we can actually get some questions out of him. Well,
Wait,
bring him up.
I'll probably whisper, why can't they get questions out of him if he's like that?
He'll die before
Because
they can get anything worthwhile.
Oh,
No.
It's a good thing I've been making sure he doesn't die.
I
Quite
should throw in
so.
there.
Have you seen what they have? Is he a member of your warband? Exactly.
What, you mean the short one? Nah, he's just a mask that we cannot get rid of.
He's a distraction in case somebody actually tries to do something useful.
Wolf
Like,
Beta.
seriously, not even wolves wanted to eat him.
He's not at his job yet.
I probably
The
just
guard,
sigh.
the guards are chuckling, and it's quite a wafty chuckle. You can tell that these are highborn characters. Well, we'll take your prisoner, and one of yours needs assistance. Boris raises documents in his hand. I have these from Branda Caligo. Oh, I see. Hang on a minute. The guard goes over to your cart, stepping on the stepping stones quite nimbly for someone in full plate armour. Let me see that. All right, yeah. Well, fair enough. I can't. I won't break the seal, but it's definitely his. So, yeah, we'll open up the side door. Bring
Does
your
he
cart
have like
in.
a number on his badge or anything that can define him as him?
He just has full armour. This is a Raven Guard knight in full plate. He does have his helmet up slightly, so he can see you, but the face guard of the helm is still protecting his chin and lower lip.
Yeah, he's got like the knight suit, got his suit of armor which has the visor instead of just praising the sun.
Night soup.
The cart is led to a basically the supply entrance. Great oak doors open up, and there's a surgeon waiting there to look at the wounded, essentially. After seeing Boris, he gets some about 4-5 squires come running out, fresh-faced, quite muscular young men, all in uniform, all in the same uniform. They come out and take the stretcher, the stretcher, and they lead Boris to the surgeon's room. Unfortunately, Lysiara has gone off into the ether for a moment to commune with her wolfy spirit. She's back.
That was a very quick communion.
I think it's
But Buckspawn didn't have much to say as Lysiara comes back out of the Fey and sees some squires lifting Boris's stretcher up and leading him towards the surgeon's quarters. Surgeon's table. That's better. Quarters sounds a bit nefarious. Would you like to say?
The laboratory.
I mean, the surgeon's quarter makes sense if they've got a lot, like a massive full-blown hospital there.
I'm going to follow the squires. I'm gonna stay with Boris.
Okay.
So
as the rest of the group are left outside, you would see that one of the squires sees the child's body, and he goes inside, and a priest of Mor comes out and does rites over the remains until the guardian just says what should be done. Lysiara, you were led into what is for human standards is actually a pretty good medical area. It's not as large as you would think, but then this area is only meant for the Raven Guard. The city itself probably has another one for other nobles and such. Boris is led into a large open room where it's very bright. It has a lot of light, natural light coming in at this time, and there are several braziers that can be lit. There are lines of surgical tools on tables to the side. You would note it's fairly clean in here, although you do see the blood stains around the surgeon's table. Although they've laid linen cloth over the top, you can see towards the feet the staining. and all around the legs on the floor are also stained. After several minutes, the doctor comes in. Do I make it the same quack from? No, I won't.
I just want to operate.
I'm almost worried that I'm better at medicine than the quack.
Quite possibly.
And I only have basic heal.
I mean, the quack strikes me as the kind of surgeon that operates with a hacksaw in the basement.
Hey, that's great medieval surgery right there.
My connection died for a second, and now it's back.
So,
just-
let's let's see the patient. Yes, this is actually, let's have him do rolls. So, as he looks at Boris's leg. Yes, that well, doesn't look good. Looks like, yes. So are we saving it, or are we he makes a quick gesture with his hand across just below the knee.
I'll mimic the gesture if I'm there.
You're not there, unfortunately. This is Lysiara, Boris, and the surgeon in the surgeon's room. Well, can it be saved? Well, if we try and save it, it's more chance that things can go wrong.
Come on, Boris, don't be such a pussy. Get a peg leg. Be like a pirate. Or
My connection keeps dying.
Boris the surgeon wants to know if Boris is going to try and keep the leg or just chop it straight off. If he tries to keep it, there's more risk of him dying. If he has it chopped straight off, there's more chance of him surviving.
Strange, because usually in medieval history, you get to keep the leg. But hey,
medieval history was weird.
Well, in this world, they have magic potions that actually heal.
or could your head fall out?
Hooray
Well, no, I'm
for
thinking about the
magic
actual-
mambo jumbo.
I'm thinking about the actual healing drafts. Yeah. Drink it and you gain full health back. Hey. What guidance? Oh, is Lysiara gone again?
I'm gone, but I think I'm back now again.
What guidance would you give Boris? Would you suggest that he risk his life to save the leg, or just to be gone with it?
I'm gonna hold his shoulder and say, since I lost most of it, I'm just gonna assume that he said, "You gotta lose the leg, buddy." I'm just gonna hold his shoulder and say, "Boris, your life is far more valuable than trying to save your leg. Your leg is unfortunately already lost. You should, however, keep on living, and I'll make sure you get the best quality they can provide you. I'll be with you for the entire procedure. Don't worry about it, but I have to do it."
Well, fine. I'll lose the leg. Excellent. It's a lot less hassle than trying to,
He sounds
Sit
way
and-
too enthusiastic about that.
He's a
course he is.
surgeon in medieval times. Of course he is.
He plans to use a horse for the leg removal.
What?
I mean, I'm assuming Boris's leg is already black
So,
and swollen and
Boris's
about to
leg
fall
is
off, so-
indeed very, very swollen. There's a lot of fluid there. He basically he had a multiple break. So he had, in my head, he had 3 breaks. So his leg was, as he holds it up, it wasn't just going from side to side. It was like wiggling. So yeah. Well, considering it's a straight up amputation, that's a lot better. However, I cannot for the life of me remember where the bloody rule is in the
For amputating something.
Yeah.
I don't even think there is a rule for it.
Then it is in the Old World Armory, which is
So
where I've been looking.
I'm looking through the core book, and it's like there's a surgery talent that just gives a bonus for them not losing the leg.
Oh god, I'm back.
Henry, can you remember in the Old World Armory where surgery is?
You mean replacements and appendages?
Yeah, the actual surgery.
The actual surgery, let me find. It was something like page 94, I think. Let me check. Replacements, appendages, and enhancements. It's page 77 or 79 on the PDF. I don't see the surgery itself. Probably not in the Old World Armory, is it?
Core rule book's not got anything on it either. It's got the replacements, the appendages, nothing actually good.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find something.
Okay, well, for now, I needed it for trying to save a limb, because it's a lot more difficult for
Oh, you need a talent for
a
that.
character to... No, so this is a surgeon. He's a proper surgeon, like the one in Siegfriedhoft. But to save a limb, you have to do more rolls, and there's toughness tests, and there's, whereas I can't find it, so I'm just going to do a straight amputation, which is a lot easier.
The way the book kind of ruled it, based on what I'm reading in the core, is if you have the surgery talent, you can give them a bonus to their toughness test to keep the limb. And if they pass that toughness test, they keep the limb.
Well, he's going to do just a flat roll. Boris Lysiara decided, let's just take the leg off. So he does a flat roll just to take the leg off. He only just does it. So, Lysiara, you're used to elven healing, and the amputation process with elven healing is, you now have learnt firsthand, far, far different. You see as the surgeon takes out a couple of bottles, he tells Boris to drink the first one quickly and to drink the second one slowly. Boris complies. You smell a very strong alcoholic scent in the air. And Boris very quickly begins to slur his speech and has trouble focusing as the surgeon begins to sharpen a wicked looking knife. He takes some cordage and, well, we should be able to save it from about here, I think. We'll go a little bit lower. Should make it easier for him to get a peg, I guess. Yep, here will do. He tightens it, and Boris screams. This is a blood-curdling streak that comes out of him. Oh, come on, man, we haven't even begun. If you can't handle this, then we'll have to tie you down. Please tie me down. Tie me down, strap me down for the love of more, please.
Oh, Kinky.
Fair enough, I thought you were more of a man than this, but okay. The surgeon takes straps out and throws them over.
I'll take a piece of cloth from my robes, tie into something for Boris to buy it, and give it to him and say, Boris, you should pipe down on this.
So there, as if he sees you like trying to rip your clothes, he will point.
No, I'm not gonna rip my clothes. I'm basically
Okay.
taking some cloth that I have within my robes, basically.
Okay. So it sounded like you were tearing up your robes, and he'd point, and there is cloth and leather behind him.
I'm just giving him, basically showing him that I'm willing to sacrifice fine elven robes or leather, silk, etc. You know, for him.
You see the straps come over, and the surgeon, doctor, quack, whatever you want to call him, he informs you to tighten them down, and you see on your side there are indeed areas where you can slot the leather straps through and then bring them back through to tighten, and 4 straps are chucked over. I'm guessing that you tighten the straps.
Yeah.
Boris
I'll
has some
help.
material in his mouth. Are you sure you wish to stay here for this?
Oh no, Luciara is going to stay through the entire thing. Even if she has to use her actual spells to increase her willpower, she was going to stay here.
Okay. The surgeon brings over a knife as Boris drinks the last of the second potion draft. You're not sure what it is. There's a strong smell, a nasty smell on his breath. As the doctor reaches up, grabs his leg, lifts it ever so slightly, and brings his hand with the knife in underneath. He brings the blade up, and you're surprised at how far he can reach. He's almost got the tip of the blade round the other side. Almost, if it was a normal blade, he'd cut himself, but this curves down and digs in. He begins to cut. Boris shakes, and tears begin to fall from his eyes as the blade turns round, slicing deeper and deeper. You see a torrent of blood and fluid leave Boris's leg as the cut enters. It almost sprays in the doctor's face, well, surgeon's face. There's a sick smile as he does this, as he brings the knife round. In one motion, he is completely cut around Boris's leg, and in a quick swipe, he cuts down and begins to peel the flesh back from the bone. Lysiara, you will need to give me a willpower check.
Yep.
And this guy might actually know some basic surgery instead of just taking the hacksaw.
Oh boy, let me just check something very quickly.
Which was the medieval amputation. I have a hacksaw. I have a guy. Hacksaw.
Medieval surgery, apply hacksaw to guy.
Oh no, you've got a common cold? Okay, we're gonna tie it to 2 horses, have them run.
This guy very
I have
much
Hearts
has
of Fire, which gives me courage, but I'm not gonna cast Hearts of Fire in the middle of surgery.
that might be a bit off-putting. You succeed. You would note that he does have good equipment here. It's not, he's supplied by the Raven Guard. He has to treat nobles. You continue to stand fast as you cannot break your eyes away from the sight that you're looking at, as you see the doctor yanking on the flesh to bring it down, and then would it be that disgusting? It probably wouldn't. He gives another tug, and you see Boris's leg drop as he's clearly got to a broken part of the bone, and with no skin attaching and no bone to strengthen, it just drops. Ah, that's a lot easier. Get rid of that wastage now. Right, come here, you. It's time to get soaring. He brings out a very clean, very shiny looking blade with serrated edges. And there's a sickening sound as he begins to chop through the bone in Boris's leg. You see Boris just convulsing, and his leg stays still because of the straps. But his chest and his face is the brightest colour that you've ever seen. It almost radiates heat. And then you see his eyes flutter and his head fall to the side as it appears he has fallen unconscious. Ah, that's a lot easier. Well, it might have been a potion. Normally works a bit quicker, but oh well, you know, you've got to make these guys man up. They're going to be on the front lines after all. And we're nearly there.
He's having way too much fun.
It's Dr. Barber.
Snaps.
I mean,
At least it's not the barber.
No, it's Dr. Barber.
yeah, barbers were usually also medics.
They're also your dentist.
Fine.
You see him.
Actually, blacksmiths could be done.
And executioners used to take births.
Yeah.
You see him chuck a piece of bone to the side
Ugh.
as he reaches round and picks up an object. No, you would have seen a file before. I'm not going to be that mean. He picks up a file and brings it over and begins filing down the edges of the bone and cleaning up. Well, this should be the job, I think. Yeah, that's pretty damn good if I don't say so myself. Right, now for the bandages. He comes over and the bandages, you know healing poultices are kind of rank. Humans aren't the best at these sorts of things. He slavers them on, completely covering the open wound and bone and bandaging up the leg. It's not too bad. But now you look down at Boris and he has gone very pale.
Yeah. Sharks. At least he passed out from shock.
Wait, why are there
Now-
sharks?
I can't remember. Do you need to do a toughness test to survive? No, that's just for saving a limb, I think.
Yeah,
I
I
think it's for saving. I think once the doctor's test is done, he is alive.
Thing is, I think for saving a limb is a critical effect above the one which he had. So unfortunately, he, as far as I remember, he had to lose a leg.
It's.
I
Yeah,
think it's one of those things. They put it in the errata in the Old World's Armory, because for a player character, that can really, that's retire that character. And it does say in the rulebook, if you lose a limb, you might want to retire the character.
Because you permanently lose half your movement, which is already bad enough when you have 4 movement.
Well, if you replace your appendage, you
You gain
kind of
plus
fix
one.
that.
You
You only lose 1 movement
yeah.
instead of being halved.
And technically I have made it so if a late game mishap does happen, the Dwarven Smith may be able to save you.
If I lose my leg or my arms late game, I'm probably just going to switch to being a priest.
Well, it depends. So someone really loves their character and something fucked up happens, a lucky roll when they lose the leg and they don't want to retire the character. Well, late game, your Dwarven Runesmith makes you a Dwarven fire-powered robotic leg that, you owe him massively and you'll be his bitch whenever you're in town and whenever he needs quests, you do it for free, but you'll have a cool, robotic leg.
Also,
To be done.
it's.
I would do it for a good character who wanted to stay on.
And I was just looking at the critical damage, and it's unless it kills you, make toughness or lose the leg. It's literally from it goes 8, make toughness to lose the leg. You have 20% chance dying each turn. To 9, you're instantly dead. And 10, where you cover the entire area in gore. GM, feel free to describe.
The thing is, as far as I remember, he was dead and he had to burn fate. So
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
he
he
was-
burnt his only fate point, so I made it so he loses a leg. I was gonna have it because then there's also a chance of him dying, but I thought that'd be quite good for Lysiara to.
Yeah,
But
if
anyway.
I'd had surgery, he might be able to keep the leg, but I didn't, and I can't get it.
So
No,
we'll have Boris. We'll give Boris a break. Boris is very pale, but it appears as if his breathing is at the very least stable. And the
I don't remember. Sorry to get you. I don't know if it came out or if my connection died, but I did intend to. Excuse me, to buy the appendage for Boris. I am willing to pay the enough crowns to give him the best quality leg he can get. So
Okay.
because a silver leg is 6 plus silver for a regular peg leg, and I think it's 10 times to go to the best quality. So I'm willing to pay 2 crowns more for him to get a good leg.
Sure. Yeah. You and the surgeon talk this over afterwards, and he kind of tells you where it'll be a while before he can actually, use it. It's an open wound. But by all means, you give him the money, and he tells you that he'll ensure that the a best quality limb is provided. He actually says that they've got them in stock here because nobles. He's like he's even got some that are really really fancy with jewels and all sorts of crazy stuff. But if you want the best quality, he's like these are the functional ones that most normal people would go with. And to try and because you've got about 15 minutes left, is that right?
Yep.
Okay. So you're told that the children will be able to stay here with Boris until he can be moved on to, obviously, move on with the rest of his journey.
We can sew a
That's
small child to his leg.
You never know.
Dude,
The children
no.
may become his altar carriers one day, carrying him into battle. Children
Then
powered.
again, that would be problematic for when the child grows up.
If Boris was a necromancer, he could strap the dead child to his leg.
Boris a
God.
necromancer.
Could he do that with a skeleton's leg, and have the skeleton's leg animated so that he has like a fully functioning ankle?
We're getting into some pretty
We are.
big heresy right
Yes.
now. Yeah.
yes,
Plus
we are.
with time limits. So you guys meet up at the front of where your wagon was. Bill has turned it round, and you're given directions to the Waltzing Cat Inn.
So that I don't take away from the rest of the party and allow people to keep going. Lysiara is probably going to stay with Boris until he wakes up, so she's going to be staying with him.
Yeah, we don't have any plans
So-
in town.
Yeah, but if anything is to keep going, I don't mind losing a little bit. Because I have
So,
to leave, but
There
Lysiara will
is
be with Boris.
there is the point of it depends if you guys want to stay in Vertbad for a time, or if you want to rest and then keep going, because Boris may be out for some time. You get the impression that the second potion was a sleeping potion, was something that was meant to like knock him out and make him drowsy and
Gotcha.
so for the minute we'll say that you all, like the surgeon basically tells you, come back tomorrow and maybe he'll be awake, but for now he's not. He's sleeping through the night and through most of the morning. So you guys arrive at the Waltzing Cat, and that is where we'll end it. Yeah, I think that's a good place to end it.
100 XP.
For this episode, yes. Just in case anyone was wondering, every episode they get 100 XP, and this episode is no different. So, take care, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope you come back for the next one. So, take care, everyone, and as always,
Take care.
bye-bye for now.
Yeah.